What's going on, Money Truckers? Welcome to Money Truck News. Email us on moneytrucknews@gmail.com. So today, President Trump has stated this as Liberation Day. And so basically, he puts a reciprocal tariff globally, and he has a chart that I'll play and you guys can see. And it's not going to be tit for tat. It's going to be actually almost like, it seems like half. So whatever they're charging tariffs on us, we're going to go almost half on them. Okay. And, President Trump believes that, he needs to bring jobs back to America. And so I'm going to play this video so that you guys can see what was announced at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And let me know what your thoughts are about this. It's interesting to see a world of tariff. The White House has already imposed 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports from all countries, along with 20% duty on all Chinese goods, right? And so now, they're looking to tack on another 10%, right, from all imports globally, right? And so it's just one of those things where how does this affect the trucking industry? Can you imagine a world where in America, if we're going to have to pay more money for stuff and you're finding yourself buying things more in America because it's just going to cost too much money buying from overseas or in Canada or Mexico, then what's that going to do? Potentially the Mexican truck drivers and Canadian truck drivers won't have as much loads to bring over to America. And can you imagine a America where you don't see Canadian and Mexican truck drivers in it, right? So very interesting stuff, right? In the short term, what are your thoughts? People have stated that they think that this is going to raise prices for all consumers because a lot of American companies, we'll give example like Walmart, Nike. Yeah, their headquarters might be in America, but their sourcing and their manufacturers are actually in foreign countries. So if you're thinking you're buying American goods, yeah, potentially they are going to be more money. So it's interesting stuff. I wonder if that means that this could be a world where Americans order less stuff from overseas, meaning less containers coming over here, meaning less trucks at the ports, right? So anytime that things affect pricing and sourcing, believe me, it's going to affect truck drivers.
Reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. We're going to make it wealthy, good and wealthy. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike. American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen, we have a lot of them here with us today. They really suffered gravely. They watched in anguish as foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream. We had an American dream that you don't hear so much about. You did 4 years ago, and you are now, but you don't too often, and for many years and decades even, you didn't hear too much about. Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen. In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal. That means they do it to us and we do it to them. Very simple. It can't get any simpler than that. Look at that. China, first row. China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39% we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough, great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left, and he's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades, and it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China in charge. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs, and they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand, and the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. We have to do something. Trade is not fair. And he said, I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but he understood immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left in the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%. Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%, and we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing. South Africa, 60%, 30%, and they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. We're paying them billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because a lot of bad things are happening in South Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at it. They don't want to report it. Brazil, 10%, 10%.